The babysitting job that night should have been easy, except the family I was working for didn't actually exist. I found the ad online, in one of those local Facebook groups for college students looking to make extra money. One night babysitting, $200 cash, it said. The post had a photo of a small brick house, a vague address, and a message that sounded normal enough. We're looking for a reliable sitter for our 6-month-old. We'll be out for dinner, back before midnight. Easy work. It sounded perfect. I needed the money, and it was only one night. The person who messaged me back called herself Linda. She was polite, used a lot of emojis, and even offered to pick me up if I didn't have a car. That was weird, but I told her I could drive. She sent the address and said, "See you at 6:30. When I told my roommate, she said it sounded too good to be true. I laughed it off. "It's just babysitting," I said. "What's the worst that could happen?" Turns out I was about to find out. The house was about 20 minutes from campus, tucked into one of those quiet suburban streets where all the mailboxes look the same. It was already getting dark when I pulled up. The porch light was on, but the rest of the house was dim. From the outside, it looked normal. Clean yard, nice paint, a little worn but well kept. I remember thinking, this isn't so bad. A woman opened the door before I even knocked. "You must be Emily," she said with a quick smile. She looked mid-30s, blonde, neat, but something about her felt off, like she was acting. Behind her was a man, tall, wearing a jacket even though it was warm out. They introduced themselves as Linda and Mark. She handed me a list of instructions written in perfect handwriting. "The baby's name is Ella," she said. "She's already asleep. Bottles are in the fridge. Just keep an ear on the monitor. We should be back around midnight." It was all so rehearsed. I asked where they were headed, just making conversation, and she said, "Dinner with friends," but didn't say where. Mark just smiled, too long, like he was waiting for something. I told them not to worry, and they left. When the door shut, the house went completely silent. For a second, I thought I heard something upstairs, but then it stopped. Once they left, I tried to settle in. The baby monitor was sitting on the kitchen counter, a faint hiss of static coming through. I turned on a small lamp and scrolled through my phone for a bit, just trying to relax. The house was spotless. Too spotless. No clutter, no mail on the table, not even a single family photo on the walls, just empty frames. I figured they were minimalists or just weirdly private. Around 8, I went upstairs to check on the baby. The nursery was painted pale yellow, with little animal stickers on the walls. Ella was asleep in her crib, breathing softly. She looked real, tiny fists, pink blanket, gentle rise and fall of her chest. I remember smiling. I checked the list Linda gave me. It said not to wake the baby, and that she'd probably sleep through the night. Simple enough. Back downstairs, I made myself some tea and flipped through TV channels. But I couldn't shake this uneasy feeling. Every now and then, I thought I heard movement upstairs, like slow, soft footsteps. The first time, I told myself it was the house settling. The second time, I muted the TV and listened. Nothing. Then the baby monitor crackled, just static, then silence again. I told myself not to be paranoid. I was alone in a strange house. That's all. Still, I couldn't stop glancing at the ceiling. It was close to 10 when I decided to check on the baby again. The monitor had been quiet for a while, and I just wanted to be sure everything was fine. The upstairs hallway felt colder than before. The nursery door was slightly open. I was sure I'd left it closed. Ella was still asleep, peaceful as ever. I stood there for a moment, just watching her. That's when I noticed something odd. The dresser drawers were all perfectly aligned, except one. The top drawer was open just a crack. I don't know why, but I reached for it. Maybe it was just curiosity, maybe it was nerves. Inside, there were baby clothes neatly folded, and under them, a small stack of photographs. I pulled them out. My hands went cold immediately. They were photos of me. At first, I thought maybe it was a coincidence, maybe someone who looked like me. But then I saw one where I was leaving my dorm. Another outside the coffee shop near campus. Another through my apartment window. Days apart. Different clothes. Same face. Me. I dropped them and stumbled back. The baby stirred, letting out a soft whimper. I didn't move. My heart was pounding so hard, I could barely breathe. That's when I noticed something else. In the corner of the nursery, a small red light, blinking.
A cámara.
The moment I saw that little red light blinking, I froze. It was aimed straight at the crib and at me. I felt sick. I grabbed my phone and backed out of the room, keeping my eyes on the camera. My hands were shaking so bad, I almost dropped it. I called Linda immediately. It rang once, then went straight to voicemail. I tried again. Same thing. That's when I noticed the number she'd texted me from wasn't saving properly in my phone. It just said unknown contact. I tried calling again, but now it said the number didn't exist. I started to panic. I thought about grabbing the baby and leaving, but something felt wrong about that too. What if this wasn't even their baby? I ran downstairs, trying to find any sign of them. A photo, a bill, something, but every drawer was empty. The fridge was full of food, but all the labels were fake. The milk carton had no expiration date. The cereal box was filled with paper. Then the baby monitor crackled again. Loud, sharp static. I looked at the screen, and for a second, my heart just stopped. It wasn't showing the crib anymore. It was showing the downstairs hallway. And in the corner of the frame, someone was standing there. I didn't move. I just stared at the monitor, hoping my eyes were playing tricks on me. But the figure didn't disappear. It was a man. He was standing perfectly still in the dark hallway, half hidden behind the stairs. I couldn't see his face, just the outline of his body, tall, shoulders slightly hunched, like he was listening. Then the monitor flickered. Static.
Gone.
I spun around, trying to hear anything, footsteps, breathing, something. The house was dead silent. I told myself to get the baby and leave. That was all that mattered now. But when I looked up the stairs, my legs wouldn't move. My body just froze. Everything suddenly made sense in a horrible way. The perfect house with no real photos. The fake number. The way she'd offered to pick me up. The way the parents barely spoke to each other. They hadn't hired me to babysit. They'd brought me here. I finally forced myself to move. I grabbed my keys, phone, and sprinted for the front door. But the lock wouldn't turn. I twisted it hard, yanked the handle, nothing. It was like it was jammed from the outside. That's when I heard it, a floorboard creak above me.
Slow.
Deliberate. Someone was moving around upstairs. I didn't look back up the stairs. I just ran. The back door, that was my only other way out. I sprinted through the kitchen, trying not to make noise, my hands slipping on the knob. It was locked too. I grabbed a chair and slammed it into the glass. The sound was deafening. The baby started crying upstairs, loud, sharp, terrified. I hesitated for a second, guilt twisting in my stomach. Then I heard footsteps, fast ones, coming down the hall. I swung again, harder this time, and the glass finally shattered. I pushed through, cutting my arm, and stumbled into the yard. The night air hit me like ice. Behind me, I heard the front door open. Someone stepped onto the porch. I didn't stop to see who. I just ran toward the street, screaming for help. But the neighborhood was quiet, too quiet. Every house dark, no cars, no movement. I kept running until I hit the main road. A car passed, and I waved like a maniac until they stopped. I told the driver someone was in the house, that the baby wasn't real, that nothing in there was real. I must have sounded insane. They called the cops. When we went back, 10 minutes later, the house was empty. No lights, no baby, no furniture, just dust. The police didn't believe me at first. They said the house had been empty for months. No furniture, no crib, no signs of a family ever living there. Just bare rooms and broken glass from where I'd smashed the window. I kept trying to tell them about the baby monitor, the nursery, the pictures, especially the ones of me. But when they searched the place, nothing was there. Not one photo, not even the camera. They asked if I'd been drinking, or if I had any history of stress. I didn't even argue. I just kept shaking my head, staring at that house. Before they drove me back to campus, one of the officers, an older guy, leaned against his car and said quietly, "You're not the first person to report something weird here." That was it. He didn't explain, didn't elaborate. Just left it there. For weeks, I couldn't sleep. Every sound made me jump. I stopped babysitting completely. Then, last week, I got an email from an unknown address. No message, just an attachment. It was a photo of me standing outside that same house, taken from the window, the same one I'd broken to escape. That's it for today's story. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more daily threads, and drop a comment to let me know your thoughts. See you in the next one.